Tune in to Spotify. Tune in to Apple Podcasts. Tune in to iTunes, to Apple Music, even Heart Radio. The Unscripted Kayfabe is the product that we watch. To analyze the product, to watch the product, to discourage the product, to encourage the product. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, oh boy, we're getting a rant. Welcome to the Unscripted Kayfabe. No rumors, no dirt, oh bullshit. This is the Unscripted Kayfabe.
What up? Are we live with the Unscripted Kayfabe? The moderators are in. Good job. The moderators are in, guys. Let's go. Welcome to TNA Bound for Glory review. TNA Bound for Glory review, guys. Unscripted Kayfabe. Good to see you. We are live. Are we? Oh yeah, we are live. Monday Night Raw review will be up, later, I would say. But this is the TNA Bound for Glory review. Honestly, the title I put out there, Top 5 Show of the Year, it's debatable in your opinion if you think what it is. I've got my nominees for in contenders for being the greatest shows of the year or the best shows of the year. Yes, Double or Nothing's in my top 10. I wouldn't say top 5. Let's keep that low a bit. Double or Nothing was too fucking long. Honestly, who gave two shits about Danny Garcia and Nigel McGuinness? Where the fuck did that go even? Please, make me understand that. But this is TNA Bound for Glory, the unscripted kayfabe, where we talk about the product only and the show, and we review it. It's off the script. There are no bullet points. I don't have a script here to talk about here. It's unscripted. We talk about the product the most unscripted way you would hear from me. A heart-to-heart talk about the product. TNA, guys. TNA had a great show overall. 2 matches I'll go over that I was not a huge fan of is the women's matches, sadly. The Kalani Jordan and Indy Hartwell match kind of surprised me in terms of the finish of it, basically. I didn't expect that finish out of it. I was like, okay, sure. Sure, we're going for this finish. You know, it makes sense for TNA to win all their championships back on this show. Yeah, and then they were, and as we knew for a while, they were building since Slammiversary. If you've seen Slammiversary, they were building the feud between what's her name again? God, this announcer they have in TNA. Her versus Tessa Blanchard, who Tessa berated her, treated her like trash, belittled her, or whatever, and I guess that she was a big fan of her, the announcer. So the announcer was a huge fan of Tessa. But Tessa, again, as I said, was quite belittling her and whatever. We're gonna go over that definitely. I'm gonna point her name out to know for sure who are we talking about. We got the countdown show. We got inductions for TNA. Mickie James takes her rightful place in the TNA Hall of Fame. Great to see that, definitely. Velvet Sky also took a rightful place in the TNA Hall of Fame. Velvet Sky, and you had who else? Gia Miller, right? Gia Miller is their name, I believe. The announcer, I think. I'm not mistaken. I think it is Gia Miller. Not just Mickie James, Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, the beautiful people took their rightful space in the TNA Hall of Fame. I believe Lacey Von Erich retired, right, from professional wrestling, so she retired, I believe, so that probably couldn't happen, really, but still. So great to see the beautiful people take their place, rightfully so. Quite an innovator for the Knockouts division, probably Awesome Kong too, definitely put her up there in that list. Obviously, they did have the sex appeal, but still quite the innovators for the show. It was really focused on wrestling still, you know. TNA again, TNA was quite the innovator for this. The Knockouts division is the innovator for the wrestling division you see right now in NXT or you've seen in NXT or you've seen on the main roster. If they do show off sex appeal, but they also prove that they can go in the ring. It's fine if you look great. You look so attractive or hot or sexy. It doesn't matter about that. It's great. The most important thing right now in professional wrestling is your in-ring ability, and women show it out right nowadays. So great to see. Great to see all of this. And the inspiration became the TNA knockouts are still retained, I guess. I'm not about it. I'll follow up. We got this. We got a kickoff from Boston Celtics radio voice Sean Grande narrating a video package. Tom Hannafin and Matthew River welcomes us to the show. Mackenzie Michelle introduced the U.S. Marines Color Guard, which we got the national anthem of the United States of America, which is, you say what it is, basically. It's great. Patriotism. It's fucking Trump. We don't need to get into that, but whatever. Patriotism. Yeah, you got that in Australia, weirdly, which I do not like at all. Why are we going to Australia? Like Canada is not that big of a deal to me as much. I get that. But Australia of all fucking places, bro? Like, come on. Australia? The place is so far away from the United States. Like, why the hell are we even putting out the the U.S. national anthem in Australia? I don't get that. That's just a WWE criticism I didn't talk about maybe yesterday. I don't know. Or whatever. But nonetheless, we got that going on. But again, a great opening from Boston Celtics boy Sean Grande. Great, great package. It was actually a really great narrative, narrative, narrative package, basically. So man, the show kicked off with Steve Macklin and Frankie Kazarian. They had a feud building in for a while, definitely. And I really like Frankie Kazarian's character. He's quite the quite the brute and quite the star. Kind of gives you Sheamus vibes of his in-ring aspect of professional wrestling, basically. Gives you a lot of Sheamus vibes, maybe. Definitely could be giving you Sheamus vibes, but what gives me Sheamus vibes? We got Steve Macklin versus Frankie Kazarian in a pretty good match. I think it was really good. It could be. It was a great match. I'll give it that. The crowd was into it. It was a hot ass match. They were quite fast paced. Slow it down for a bit. Great character work from Frankie. Frankie is so great. Frankie is. I love his fucking character. Frankie's great. Frankie's great. He's a great pro wrestler. Gave a good shout out to tribute to AJ Styles with a call, which love to see stuff like that. Like we got Edge giving it to Cena, Cena giving it to Edge, and then Edge giving it to Cena. So love to see stuff like that on the show. You know, it is quite apparent. Love to see stuff like that on the show. The callbacks and stuff. It's fun. It's really great stuff. You know, got Edge doing that. Basically, it's quite good tributes we're getting in pro wrestling right now. Not a lot of nostalgia. I feel like in see we're going through because Cena's retiring. The Dudleys just retired. This year has really been full of a lot of nostalgia feels. AJ is almost going to be retiring, almost about to retire anyways. So we're quite getting to that nostalgia feel of pro wrestling right now, aren't we, Styles? Anyways, this was a pretty great match. The work that again Kazarian does, and then Steve Macklin is a fucking brute. His match starts off with Macklin having the upper hand early on. The Macklin fights back. Again, I would say it was a great match. It was a really great match. It was great. Macklin throws off this really brute vibe, and then Macklin is just great as character work. I think Macklin needs to maybe get his character work up a bit better, but I like his vibe. I like the brute looking. I've been a fan of Steve Macklin. I mean, we don't talk much about TNA on the show really, but I have been a fan of Steve Macklin since 2022 when I first saw him. So I really like Steve Macklin. He's quite great at what he does. Upper hand already on the. Well, let's get into this. He sent out the ring for a sunset powerbomb by Kazarian. Macklin obviously jumped, did a suicide dive, or not a tope, a super sia basically into the in the middle of the ropes, who has the crowd and mocks Macklin's mother. Again, great work from Frankie. Frankie was really working the crowd, working everybody in this. I really love this. You know, overall, man, I'll say TNA seems hotter than AEW. They generally do, and the sickos out there just can't fucking take criticism. And it's like, bro, I'm gonna bury as much I can because you're going up against TNA, and TNA is not the bully. They're the hot upstart right now. They are hot right now. They are hot. If they're doing at least 7,000, I'm not sure. I put that number out there definitely to give you a cake of a taste, basically. Like, hey, maybe they're doing these numbers, but they're definitely hot right now. They are right now hot. TNA is hot right now. They are. Love to see what TNA is doing. And they're hotter than AEW. AEW was doing shit in terms of attendance and all that. This show proved to me that TNA is hot. I already knew they were hot because I was interested in Bound for Glory, and I was gonna watch this show definitely. So, again, it was a great show, man. It's a damn great show to watch. It's a damn great show to enjoy professional wrestling. It was a great show. It was one of my favorite shows this year basically. You ask me again. I will give you it's top five. It is literally top five for me. It is Elimination Chamber, Evolution, Crown Jewel, All in Texas, and what would I say? All in Texas and Bound for Glory. My top five of the year. This is my top five shows of the year. Elimination Chamber, Evolution, Crown Jewel, All in Texas, and Bound for Glory. Great fucking show. Great show. Definitely. Man, I didn't feel as much excited watching a TNA show in such a fucking long time. So that needs to tell you everything more than anything, really. I really was excited for this show a lot. Quite excited for the show. And in my opinion, they had a great show. They delivered, which is hard to see from a lot of wrestling promotions do. So, and I'm going to talk about Mike Santana. Man, Mike Santana. It's just we're going to get to Mike Santana eventually again, the match basically. But Mike Santana to me personifies everything about professional wrestling that you understand it to be, basically. The story, the way he has come out, he's talked about the struggle, the Puerto Rican life that he went through, the struggle living on the streets, his dad, and all of it. I mean, the way his story, Mike Santana's story, the Puerto Rican lifestyle is just and how he just appreciates it, and how he wants to do this for his daughter, and he is doing this for his daughter to show her that your dad is something. He's his daughter, her daughter's hero. So love to see fathers who can do that. So again, not just a wrestling story, a man's story basically. So you just can't really relate. You can relate with Mike Santana if you're a man. Definitely you can. Being a parent too, probably can, I guess. But this is quite a story with Mike Santana. I love Mike. He's great. The story he tells, he is just to a T. The LAX stuff he did with Conan and Eddie Kingston and Ortiz and all that stuff back in TNA. The LAX stuff was pretty damn good. LAX was a great tag team in TNA, and they got picked up to AEW eventually. And let's not get it twisted. Tony Khan did not fumble. Tony Khan did not fumble. Tony Khan didn't give any chances for Santana to do really anything in AEW other than fucking Inner Circle. And after Inner Circle, Santana was basically done. Santana was finished after the Inner Circle. And again, this is not on Tony Khan. It's not. And I'm not going to blame Tony Khan at all. He didn't even give Santana a chance to really prove himself. So, you could blame him for that, but you can't just say he fumbled because he did not. He does not fumble here. It's Santana who was basically Santana was basically the guy who really cared about the show. You know, he cared about doing this, but again, Tony Khan and Ortiz as well. He was like he didn't want to do what Santana wanted for tag team wrestling. So I guess yeah. So this is just the story of Santana's life, the Puerto Rican struggle, the pain, his father his and his father's relationship, the story. It's just not a professional wrestler story, man. It's not a wrestler story. It's just a more of a story of a man. And when that's more relatable to anybody of a and especially if you're a Puerto Rican and you know are from Puerto Rico, you probably have that connection to that. So even more. So him, just I I lost my shit for him winning the world championship. You're alive for our reactions for the show. I lost my shit for him winning the world title. I lost my fucking shit for him winning the world heavyweight championship, the TNA heavyweight championship, winning the world championship of the of one of the largest promotions in North America. TNA, it's WWE, AEW, and it's TNA. So Santana getting that spot, Santana becoming TNA World Champion in this renaissance for TNA that we're seeing right now for TNA wrestling, which credit to Hardy's as well. Definitely credit Hardy's for that. There's the renaissance you're seeing for TNA Pro Wrestling currently, and Santana winning it's just beautiful, man. TNA has really picked up. TNA currently right now seems more hotter than AEW as a product. TNA is getting more attention than AEW. TNA is just AEW. They fumbled in terms of putting up a good product. Yes, AEW's top stars are out. You can say that. You can make up excuses. Oh, because Ospreay's out. Oh, Swerve's out. MJF is out. Say all the fuck you want, whatever the fuck you want to say. It doesn't matter, dude. You can still book a great show. AEW doesn't care about booking a show with logic and story. But anyways, this match with TNA, Mike Santana, Trick Williams. Trick is such a great heel. I wanted to punch him in his face, basically. I mean, he worked me, basically. Trick is a great heel. Trick is a great heel. The crowd was not pro Santana, really. Sadly, I was. The crowd wasn't, which I wish they did it in New York, because New York is where Santana is from, and this is where his heritage starts. His Puerto Rican heritage starts from New York. So, but they chose to do it in Boston. I don't know why, really, but still, they chose to do it in Boston. That was up to them, really, if they chose to do it in Boston. I'm not gonna go over why they did and why whatever they did, and they chose to go over Boston. But overall, it was pretty much all great. It's a great moment for Santana. Struggle, the emotion, everything Santana had been through, and the way he talks about his story about as a man, not just as a professional wrestler man, as a man, as just a man's man, like not a man's man, just like a man, bro, a regular dude. You can relate with the struggle, living on the streets and all that. You can just relate with the struggle and all of that. You can relate with everything like that. So, congratulations to Mike Santana again. He deserves being the world champion of one of the largest promotions right now in North America. The third largest, but still. He is he's a world heavyweight champion in pro wrestling. Because TNA's name is quite big right now in terms of they're getting more buzz and they're hot. And that world title is gonna be hot. It's probably been like 2012 since it was last time hot. Anyways, guys, moving on from that. But still, love to talk about Mike Santana more and more. Santana, again, I would say, great moment for Santana. Great moment from Santana, guys. It's just what pro wrestling's all about. Pro wrestling's all about the aspect of story and just more relatability and emotionally connected. And the story, if you guys know his story, Santana's story, you would know how much this moment means to him, his family, and just the wrestling fans in general who's followed his journey, or who knows what's going on. Love to see this all play out. Hardy's and Dudley's, man, that was an emotional roller coaster of a send-off. Quite a car crash, really. some plunder, definitely some car crash shit, but I commend Jevon from getting back into the shape for doing this one last match. The last match for the Dudleys. And they fucking killed it. They killed it. They absolutely killed it. Dudleys are back, and to do it one last time with the Hardys. They had a great promo going back and forth with each other before. This was just incredible in terms of emotion. I mean, you were feeling all of this. You were going through. I mean, the shit they did was cool. They were trying to do each other, but you knew that the Dudleys were not just the story they told. The Dudleys, they're trying, but they're not the same anymore. And the Hardys overcame, and then Matt Hardy picking up Bubba Ray and saying, "I'm sorry, man, I love you," and then slamming to the table with Jeff. And they both got all of them up. They were crying. It was just a full emotional moment, guys. It was an emotional moment. It was quite an emotional moment. The show. Steve Macklin regains the championship again from Frankie Kazarian, the International Championship. Great moment there. Already went over the countdown stuff. Let's break down the match. She then responds with a double bird salute. Jevon Evans and Leon Slater probably put out maybe the match of the year, arguably. Yes, it is definitely. Maybe I would say some matches are better than that just because of the finish, really. But the way this match built up, it was produced, the way it was done, and we're gonna get into that definitely. Put it out there for that. That I'm definitely gonna put out there. That was a great showing for both of them. Definitely. And the two women's match already I went over that. The hardcore four-way war, which I really like the build to that. I did. The way they built to that Victory Road and how who got the spot for hardcore war. So hardcore war is basically war games without a cage. If you don't know what it is, we're gonna be getting all of this starting in about a bit. If you guys are, if there are more people here, thank you guys for joining. It's been a great time. The moderators are keeping up. If you think they are, definitely. I'm not sure if they are. You know, great. You know, shit's going wild probably, but still, great show, man. Nonetheless, definitely keeping up with that. Definitely. It was a great show, showing. Let's break it down. Let's start it off with who heads to the crowd, mocks Macklin's mother, then she responds to double bird salute, then riles Kazarian up. Macklin blindsides him to double bird salute, middle fingers basically set out. Macklin basically blindsides him to bring Kazarian back at the ring. Macklin then hits an Olympic slam, which they really worked on that. They called it a Olympic slam to stay on top of things. Charges as Kazarian in corner to set up the Tree of Woe, which I really like that move actually. Macklin then sets up in the corner and charges Kazarian, who lifts that himself up to dodge the attack. Kazarian then breaks the free of the Tree of Woe, but it's caught by Macklin in a chicken wing crossface. Kazarian then breaks free to roll up Macklin, and he uses the ropes to leverage before referee catches him. Kazarian then goes for a Boston Crab, but Macklin gets the ropes for a break. Macklin then fights back before taking a Pele kick, followed by Angel's Wing, but Kazarian only gets a 2 count. Kazarian then sends Macklin to the corner and looks for the Fade to Black off the turnbuckle, but Macklin fights back and forces Kazarian to mat with a bite. Macklin hits a diving headbutt, but Kazarian rolls up out of the way to hit a cutter for a near fall off his own. Macklin then gets cut in a tree of woe position, but he dodges a charge Kazarian before finally catching Kazarian then with the shoulder. Tackle to the midsection. Macklin then hits Kazarian with a Kia for the win. Something is called, what is it called again? Kia. Yeah, the chart is called the shoulder drop in the midsection is called I guess something was called the running shot, I guess. It was a pretty great match. Quite great work from Frankie Kazarian. I went over Frankie is a great heat magnet. He knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to work everybody. He knows how to be a heel. He's probably doing some. He's doing great work generally. He is. Love it. We'd like to see Frankie and AJ Styles before AJ Styles retires. Definitely a match. It is my AJ Styles retirement. Before, one of one of his matches that I have. I'll give you my lists eventually for matches for AJ Styles retirement tour or whatever his matches should be. But I think Frankie Kazarian versus AJ Styles is definitely a match that should happen. Moving on. After the match, Macklin is presented with the title by the TNA president Carlos Silva, leaving the ring to Albert Alonso's Marines and his mother, which was great. Macklin is a Marine. They really put an end to that. Like, you don't mess with a Marine's mom, bro. Which makes sense. I mean, tough and rough. You don't respect them. Makes sense. Quite. And we got a shot at the English and French commentary teams, basically. Ray Wald and Hannafin really talked about both of them. We then head back where we hear from the TNA World Champion Trick Williams. Basically says TNA's fans are thanking him for all the attention he has been getting in the company as of late, which is, I mean, he ain't lying there. He's not lying there. I can see a general amount of people being here for that. I can. He is not lying there. Trick has done great work with that championship, I think. He has. Definitely. Trick then says his lore explains that he wears the TNA World title upside down because he's turned TNA upside down. Like, yeah, we could pick that up already. Trick then registers that nobody likes him, but that doesn't mean that he goes into into this ready. But cases on everyone. The Trick then ends by saying that he's best for business, and let's talk about it, I guess. Then we take a look at Kalani Jordan and Indy Hartwell. Singles match between Kalani Jordan and Indy Hartwell. I will definitely have coming up for this. Tessa Blanchard makes her way down for the next match of TNA Bound for Glory, and she's accompanied by Victoria Crawford, the former Alicia Fox. Gia Miller then makes her way down to the ring, and she's accompanied by Jody Threat. Gia Miller, guys, oh my god, you guys are sleeping on that woman. She is a beaut. I mean, you don't see a baddie, that's a fucking baddie. TNA got one. Singles match, undeniable Diamond Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller. Tessa has her at City by Bay 776. Who's the best talent on TNA right now? Leon Slater, you ask me. You really ask my opinion on that man. I think it's Leon Slater. I think it's Leon Slater. He is the best man right now. Currently, if you're asking me. I would say it's definitely Leon Slater. Anyways, moving on. Good question. Who the best talent on TNA right now? Leon Slater. I can give you Frankie Kazarian. Like I said, been a big fan of Steve Macklin for a while. I am a big fan of Steve Macklin and his work. I just like the look. I like the brute style of Steve Macklin. It's pretty entertaining, dude. Unless singles match, the undeniable Diamond Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller. We already know the heat that Tessa's got for a while. We know. Nick Nemeth is another one that came to my mind. Great pro wrestler. Probably one of the best pro wrestlers to, probably the best pro wrestler if you're fucking money. Bet for your own money, bro. If you think that. Nick Nemeth is great. It's awesome. Moving on. They're a bunch of. I can't name you. You ask me the best talent right now, the number one. I give you Leon Slater. The kid's got everything. He's the best. You asked me. It's Leon Slater. Anyways, the match starts off with Tessa walking Gia Miller to offer a headlock, and Miller obliges to take Blanchard to the mat. Blanchard then gets up quickly, countering the mock Miller before Miller rolls her up to a count. Blanchard then gets her feet, it goes off on Miller, sending her to the ropes before setting her up on the steps for a stomp. It was quite Blanchard being a heel, working a heel. Because first of all, she's gonna be working a heel. There's no way she can work a fucking babyface. We already know the whole Tessa is a racist chant. We know what's going on. So quite quite the thing here, basically. Yeah, we already know that. Blanchard then brings Miller over. Uh, Jody threats her, interfere. Blanchard continues to attack and hits suplex that slams Miller on the steps. Blanchard then brings Miller over where her family's watching in front of front row, mocking them as continued pummeling away at Miller before bringing her back in the ring. Blanchard props Miller against ropes, distracting the referee as Victoria Crawford. Miller into the corner once more, time and time. Crawford attacks Miller in his plane of threat, then intervenes as a referee, ejects Crawford from ringside. Blanchard then sends Miller to the outside before arguing with the security to keep Crawford around until the threat hits a dive off the top turnbuckle, sending them all to the floor, then leads up to some momentum to take Blanchard to the mat. Miller then hits a crossbody, but only gets a two. Blanchard then heads to the corner, but is caught with a splash by Miller, only to fight back with a boot before mounted for some punches on Miller that she then pulls off turnbuckle covering Miller his head in, only for Miller to she hits over some quarters basically at the end. Referee fixes the turnbuckle. She hits goes to the powerbomb, and when then Blanchard gives Miller goes to the powerbomb, and then she just smacks her with some fucking quarters, and that's how it ends. I mean Tessa I guess needed to win this because she lost the other matches, but great. I don't know what should I say. I mean this was a quite an okay match, really, nothing special. We're not going over the Bioflex shit. We're not. 20-person intergender call your shot gauntlet match. Intergender wrestling has its moments when story makes sense. I don't like to see it always because it's just like, hey, why the fuck you're just beating up a especially I don't know how would that be okay with a lot of talent basically over at or a lot of productions in CW and stuff. You know, intergender pro wrestling is interesting. It can be great. Bea Presley and Will Ospreay can prove you that intergender pro wrestling can be great, but but I don't think it's always needed. Especially like a big man is trying to beat up a woman. That's never needed. That's like that's just kind of distasteful. I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. But overall, I had no problem with any of this. I quite enjoyed it. It was quite different, quite cool. You don't see that much stuff in WWE, even in TNA or even AEW, basically. So, in one of the largest promotions in America in TNA, North American Pro Wrestling. Well, great to see. Match starts with both women shaking hands. Like this is a whole fucking thing. We're not gonna break that down too much, guys. Sade and Lee starts off the match basically. Liang Liang Lee, the former Xia Li, if you don't know, and Mara Sade is Jakara Jackson. Both women are ex WWE talent. Not too far from. I think Liang Lee, Xia Li is they really were trying with Xia Li and nothing came out of it because the vignettes just they did. I don't know what they had her doing. She's a good talent. I don't know what the hell's going on with her. The match starts with both women shaking hands and then quickly trading holds into shoulder tackles and get back to the woman standing off. Sade then sends it corner, leads back and just attack fast. Then leads to Lee fighting back. Sade hits a headbutt and next entrance coming Ryan Nemeth. So now Ryan Nemeth is gonna obviously there we go intergender for you. Ryan Nemeth is like such a big douche, guys. I don't know what should I say about him. He is a douche you don't really want to be talking to as much. I'll fast forward to this. You had Ryan Nemeth in this. I'm not going over the breakdown, right, guys. I'm not a guy who does breakdowns that much. I'm not really feeling too well about right now, so we're gonna be fast forwarding all of this basically. You got Ryan Nemeth out there. He did all this shtick, basically the asshole shtick that he does. He's an asshole, and that both women attack Ryan Nemeth basically. Then we get Cedric Alexander coming out there. Actually, then Nick Nemeth comes out there, and then both women beat up, and then Nick Nemeth, I guess, to the ropes. Ryan Nemeth makes the save. Nemeth then take both women down as both Nemeth brothers take the women down basically. Alexander then makes a beeline for the ring and he goes after Nemeth and sends them to the mat. Alexander then gets Ryan to the corner, but nonetheless. So Alexander came out and then he had the Nemeth. It's a great match. All I'll say. I'm not gonna go over this really. Great to see BD. He's fucking killing it. And then we have Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian at the end. Cardona was part of it too. AJ Francis got kicked out, man, with a fucking super click, basically. You know, this match already went over Kalani Jordan, Indy Hartwell. Nothing great. Nothing great here. This is okay. And then we got a shot of them try to get at each other. Hardcore War was a great showing, definitely. You got. So we're gonna go over this basically. The match starts off with Eddie Edwards going immediately after Jason Hodge and then sends him into the Wally for assist before Hodge sends him to the outside. He then brings in Hodge to the corner as Josh Schuyler makes his way down to the ring to corner and hits a chair where Edwards comes down and until JDC makes his way down to the ring for a system. JDC then uses the Patriot's helmet on the great hands, then gives System the advantage outside by singling him out with Schuyler. She's great. Tasha Steele then makes her way to the ring next for Order 4. Then we make save Steele's. Then it's actually I'm not gonna go over this. I'm not quite feeling good, guys. I'm not going over this shit. I'm not. It is too much really to go over it. I already said this was a great match. It was a plunder that was quite entertaining. They managed to make it really entertaining. They did. I had fun watching this match. Mustafa Ali is fucking phenomenal at what he does. What I'll say. TNA X Division match. Let's go over this, maybe. Actually, maybe. Let's go over this. I think I'll be able to go over this. This match starts off with both men taking it all in, then we get a handshake that this is awesome. Chant from Slater, then Kirchner's in, headlocks, shoulder tackle on Evans. Seth then drops himself from getting tripped up with Evans, allowing himself to get back on his feet. Both men locking up Evans and take Slater to the corner. Evans and good chop for a Slater flinch. Basically, only to be cradled up by two Slater. Then we get a standoff between two. Evans then gets Slater to the ropes and gets shoved up. Actually, I won't be going over this either. This match was great. The way it was slowly produced, where it was wrapped up at first and then slowed down quite much. So, quite well produced. Definitely. I'll just say that. It's a great match. It was a great show. I don't know why. And then you got Devon and the Hardys, which I might go over. I might. The match starts off with both teams starting each other down when we got holy shit chants from the crowd as two other teams stare face off. The chants continue leading to dueling chants for both men teams. Jeff then charges at Bully Ray but sends him out. 3D hits Mal with three highs but then sends out the ring and he goes for Whisper in the Wind, but Team 3D dodge. Bully Ray then hits a scoop slam and sets him with a diving headbutt by Devon. The tables, crowd chants as long as Devon pulls a table under the ring. Bully then sets up the table while Devon pulls out the second one and they hit the Jeff with a 3D through the first table. And then they bring Matt to the outside before Devon grabs a chair, but Matt fights back with a twist of fate. Floor then sets up Devon on the table, hops onto the apron for a running elbow, but Devon leaves the table and commentary then reminds us that you have to be on offensively drive opponent through the table to the count. Jeff up to the ramp as Bully sets up the table in the corner. Jeff then starts to fight back as Matt takes some shots in the corner by Bully. He sends Matt into the corner, then he turned and add his lead. Bully running into the table, and then the table doesn't break. Matt then leaves ring to save Jeff, and he goes over Devon up. Then he gets involved climbing the ladder. He hits Swanton Bomb and puts Devon through the table. Officials then come down to check on both men, teams, and other elimination needed to bring the match to an end. Matt then comes to Jeff, and after they grab the chairs on the way back to the ring. Then they take turns slamming chairs again to the back of Bully Ray before setting up another table. Jeff then hits a drop kick after Matt brings him to his feet. Jeff throws it Bully Jeff through the table. Matt hits him with a twist of fate, sets him up with a swanton bomb on the turnbuckle. Hardys then hit chairs once again. It was quite rapid, quite emotional feel. And who dropped the chairs, and then Bully hoists him up, arrange, and then sends Bully through the table for the win. After the match, Hardy's held Bully to his feet as Demon gets up back to the ring, and the crowd chants thank you to both teams as they stand tall. And I'm actually gonna go over a bit on the rep. I'm actually gonna go a bit over on the match that I should have gone over a bit, and I kind of shouldn't have signed. Maybe it was the 20-man gauntlet, which again was great. The teams there. Jake something was in the match, which is I think he's something. The name kind of throws you off, but you got Orange Cassidy. So what do you expect for Jake something? But then this was quite a great damn battle royal, quite enjoying really. But again, at the end you had Nick Nemeth and which I didn't understand this whole Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian. Well, maybe if you just gave it to Nick Nemeth, it'd be fine. Doesn't really matter. I guess they want Frankie to be so protected. I guess I don't know whatever they were doing here. After the match, the Hardys help Bully Ray up to his feet as D1 gets back to the ring, and the crowd chants thank you to both teams as they stand tall and hug it out. We then get thank you Dudley's chant as the Hardys raise their titles up, and we hear the Hardys also thanking 3D for everything. This was great. This was awesome. This is what, it was a emotional moment. The crowd was crying. Even I got teared up, who had no reason to even grew up watching these guys, really. So, I never grew up watching these guys, so even I got teared up, you know. So to me, it was even emotional. It's a great moment. Then this ends, both teams hugging it out, and emotion felt through the arena with crowd cheers. One team 3 then takes their leads, team 3 heads up the ramp. They gave them their boots as well. So that was a different thing, basically. And then Jeff then managed to break into the corner. This was a quite an emotional send off to them. And we already gone over Mike Santana, guys, winning the TNA World Championship. The match starts off with Santana hitting a boot to the face of Williams before hitting him with some hard punches. Williams then leaves the ring, but he pursues Santana, who sends him to the barricade for some shots. Santana then charges at Williams, who blocks into a boot before they send back to the barricade. This was quite the before the match. They were actually having a they were just beating the shit out of each other in, in the crowd, basically. Then the fight spills into the crowd, basically. There we go. As Santana takes control, we already went over the crowd thing. Williams takes control. Doesn't take long for Santana's to mount off, and then Williams takes the hit at Santana, tricks, but Santana kicks out at two. Williams then keeps Santana down, but gets back up, with allows Santana to fight back, and until Williams hits a neck breaker, the referee's count is for Williams to drop to the ring step. Williams then rolls up into the ring as referee continues to the count, and we see that Santana is busted open, which is again they were trying to tell the story basically of which is I love stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that really. Again, as I said, Trick is doing great heel work, and Santana, the story just wrote it for himself. Honestly, I wish they did it in New York, really. New York, really. It would make sense because his heritage is kind of from the Puerto Rican heritage is kind of from New York, so but New York would have been a better place for that, I would say, but still. They chose it to won their biggest show, Bound for Glory. New York anniversary reservation. I don't know. So then I hits the corner. Williams for the cross. We're gonna go at the end of it. Basically, both men fight it out with turnbuckle. Ends up with an avalanche. Erased Santana Williams, but he only got a 2 count. Santana manages to kick out Williams, then leaves the ring to the title. Goes back into the ring. He tries to hit a swing at Santana. Rolls up for a 2 count. He then gets an underneath roll and spin back block. That's countered only for Santana to hit it the second time. Santana then goes for the cover. Williams kicks out again. Was quite working on my emotions, man. The back and forth here, it was great. This was an awesome match. This was a fucking awesome match. I'll say again. Takes a spin block for percent from Santana, who laid out Trick Williams with a shot. Williams goes for a cover. Santana kicks out for a two. Williams then heads to the corner for a trick shot. Santana then dodges, but Williams blocks a spin block attempt, but Santana dodges Williams once again, and hitting not one but two spin the blocks for the win. Great to see Mike Santana being a world champion of a professional wrestling company. He did it. He did it. He fucking did it. The story writes itself. A struggle of a Puerto Rican man basically is enough to the story I've already described it to be. This was quite it, guys. It was a great show. It was definitely a great show. I had basically nothing really negative to talk about the show. Nothing really that AEW gives me to talk about in the show because AEW has a lot of negativity to talk about the show. I'll give you the Monday Night review will be coming up later on, but that'll be it for the show definitely. That'll be it for the show. Again, and then after the match, Nick Nemeth, which I will say this is stupid. Nick Nemeth, what was the point of Nick Nemeth coming out there and they had Frankie out there? Frankie got fucking Elijah, took out Nick Nemeth. They kind of really took it over. I know there's not that much to criticize here, but I'll criticize this. This wasn't needed. This aftermath of Santana's victory wasn't needed. Santana deserved this moment. Kind of shank on that moment, basically. That's just my opinion on it. But overall, this was a great thing for Santana. LAX, the journey, the Puerto Rican heritage, all whatever he's been through his story. If you know Santana's story, this was a great moment that he wanted to do this for his daughter. He wanted to see that her papi is proud, or not to see her be proud of her puppy, basically her puppy, not her puppy. Sorry, her papi, basically. So The love to see stuff like that. That's great. That'll be it, guys, for the TNA Bound for Glory top 5 show of the year. Definitely for me. That'll be it for TNA Bound for Glory, the unscripted kayfabe. We watch the product, and it's shoot to heart, man. We talk about it in terms of we talk about the product without a script. This is off the hook. This is the unscripted kayfabe.
Unscripted Kayfabe. Tune in to Spotify. Tune in to Apple Podcasts. Tune in to iTunes, to Apple Music, even iHeart Radio. The unscripted kayfabe is the product that we watch, to analyze the product, to watch the product, to discourage the product, to encourage the product. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, oh boy, we're getting a rant. Welcome to the unscripted kayfabe. No rumors, no dirt, oh bullshit.